Hey, this is Chris with Destination Art, and today I am continuing my saga for learning new skills. So I took this picture of little downtown that I live in, and I am trying to practice the techniques of kind of a three-step painting where you paint the form, then you paint in the shadows, and then you add in the details. And I'm still working in a small format. In my last video I did the same thing. Working in a small format, this is a postcard size paper, and I have sketched out the little scene with the buildings, and so I will paint some basic colors for the buildings. Then when that is dry, I'll go back in with some shadows and then finally refine it with some details, and I'm using a Micron pen. I used the 0.8 today, which might have been a little bit too big for this small format, but it is what it is. So I'm also using my 3-color palette. So I'm only using 3 colors. Every other color that I'm using I have mixed, which has been an interesting experiment because, you know, I love my burnt sienna and I love all those other colors that you can get, especially, that's my cat, especially some of the greens and browns that you can get. So one of the challenges I had, since I'm using a phthalo blue, I wanted a sort of deeper sky, so I did have to add a little bit of magenta to that to change it. It's kind of exciting to see how you can get all the other colors, but mixing grays can be quite a challenge. So all my, pardon me one moment. Alexa, dismiss. Sorry. Anyway, yes, I'm realizing I'm in the audio. So yeah, mixing the grays is really challenging when you're doing this because you really have to get a good balance between basically all 3 colors. You know, and you have to decide if you want sort of a warm gray or a cool gray. Anyway, the other challenges that I had, basically still getting the proper details and figuring out where the shadows are is still a challenge for me, but you know, that's why I'm practicing. So this is a channel where I practice making art. One day I'm going to be really excited that I practiced enough and made some better art. I don't know. Anyway, yeah, okay, so I'm just going to let you watch the rest of the painting. I'll step back in just a little bit. Please enjoy. I finished laying in the color for most of the buildings and just some of the details, establishing the form of basic shapes in the painting, and then I went in with some gray to try to tease out some shadows. So the guy that I watched, and I learned this technique from, he actually does urban sketching, and he uses just like a Tombow gray to establish the shadows. And I think actually that would be really good, but I can't find my gray Tombow. So anyway, so I'm trying just to use a glaze of gray over various areas where I think the shadows will be. Yeah, and then I will pick it back up when I get to the detail part. Okay, enjoy. My next step is to add detail using a 0.8 micron pen, and my 0.5 micron pen probably would have been better for this, but as I said before, it is dead. I mean, that sucker is dry. It barely, I tried using it for some of the details a little bit later on. One of the challenges with doing a technique like that is figuring out what type of details you want to do with your pen, because you don't want to fill in every detail. You want the viewer to participate and to fill in some of the information. And so that's kind of where I struggle. I don't have hard and fast rules or maybe a style anyway, I'm still trying to develop that, but I keep working on these types of paintings in order to get better and to learn new things every time I do it. So I hope that you learned something. So anyway, that was the water cooler. I don't know if you heard that or not. Anyway, it just gurgled. So I have one more thing that I did, and I will pick it back up in just a second. I thought I was done with the painting, which is why I decided to remove some of the tape, but once I had the tape off and examined it again, I thought that maybe it was a little bit boring and needed just a little bit more. So I did go back and refine some of the shadows and just splashed some on the buildings because I thought that would just make it slightly more interesting. And yeah, so reevaluating my painting and making small adjustments actually I think was kind of beneficial. So anyway, I am so happy that you watched and that you saw me practice. And yeah, if you, like I said, like this video, please like and subscribe, and have a fabulous day.